Welcome back to Ktalk. We're your hosts. I'm Mel.
And I'm Uma. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing fabulous this weekend. Let's see. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the tearjerker that is Way Back Love. It's short and sweet, about 6 episodes. And for those in North America, it's playing on Viki. I think it's Viki everywhere, right?
It's Viki, yeah.
Okay. So Way Back Love is about Jung Hee-won, a 24-year-old woman who doesn't have the will to live anymore. She lives a life of a recluse, and one day her childhood friend shows back up, but he's the Grim Reaper now. So
with a twist. Yeah.
That's the little twist there, right? Like
Yeah.
her first love is back. But this time he's a Grim Reaper because he died like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he tells her, you have about a week to live, and the show just explores that week that they spend together.
Yes. Way Back Love stars Gong Myung, who plays Kim Ram-woo, and Kim Min-ha, who plays Jung Hee-won.
When it first started, it was throwing me off with the whole little name switch.
Oh my God, yeah. Even while I was taking my notes, I was like, okay, so that's not, okay. Like,
we kind of figured it out. They're like, okay, they were playing, it started off as like an April Fool's joke for their new teacher. So they decide to switch names. But then Hee-won decides, hey, I've had a really great day and all sorts of shit were working out like in my favor. Let's...
Can I keep your name?
Yeah, like it's mine now. Can we just stay this way for the rest of the year or something? And I love her character. She was so sweet, so bubbly, so full of life.
Yeah.
And he's kind of more reserved and
very studious, just about school and, college and things like
the
that.
The polar opposite of her.
Yeah.
That's what made this so much fun to watch in the beginning, because after the first episode, there is no fun.
Yeah.
Right? But just the first episode, when we're getting to know them, polar opposites, but he's intrigued. He's interested.
He is. It's so funny because he literally deals with her like she is a lunatic. Like
he's forever side-eyeing her.
Yeah, and he's in like awe of her as well, right? Because she's so free-spirited. Just, she does whatever she wants to do. She doesn't care. Like
she just pulls at his like introverted heart, and he starts to slowly kind of just go along with everything that she wants. Like at first he's a little bit reluctant, but then he was just like, you know what? He wants a good time.
Yeah.
Like she does crazy shit, but it's a good time, which brings us up to when she, over the course of the day that they had switched names, she's just causing all sorts of shit. And anytime everybody calls her out and she gets in trouble, she's like, what's your name? And she's like, Ramu. Like she's just dragging his name through the filth, right?
Yeah.
And my favorite part was when she comes out of the convenience store and she sees these other high school kids bullying someone, and she decides to throw her chocolate milk at them, but then drops her name tag, which is technically his name. So they come to the school looking for the person who ruined his cashmere sweater. I think he said cashmere sweater like 50,000 times.
Yeah.
But how hilarious is that part where she's like, you know what? No problem. We're going to go outside. They want to fight? Like, yeah, sure. Bring it on type of thing. And she's like, I got an idea though. And when she drew those tattoos on her arm, that reveal,
it's like, we need to look gangster,
was so funny to me.
And then he drew a polar bear, and then later that day he couldn't even wash it off. So he started freaking out.
They have like this intense face off with these older high school kids, and they're like, pay for the sweater or dry clean it or fix it or do what you got to do, but you ruined my shit, now it's on you. And they're like, yeah, you want this? Come and get some or whatever. And they roll up their sleeves, and she just she drew tigers on her forearms. He has a polar bear. And would her friend have her on her neck?
Yeah. I don't know what the friend had.
But the fact that they went, this is what I love about Hee-won's character. She was doing some crazy shit and they went along with it. Like nobody thought to stop her and be like, this is kind of dumb. Nobody's going to believe we're tough.
And I think
because we have these fake tattoos.
He was so in awe of her. It was like, he thought she was batshit crazy, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, she's so much fun.
She really is a lot of fun, to the point where even like the bullies couldn't believe. They were taken aback by how dumb she was, that these fake tattoos were going to make her seem tougher, and they end up just, dispersing
like,
or whatever.
And then that lady came out and was like, oh my God, you guys are smoking here? And they just kind of ran off. But
literally, that was the only part. It's my favorite scene because it's the only part of the show that made me giggle because it is super heavy.
Yeah. So Hee-won is essentially raised by a single father. She has a sister. her mom passed when she was 4. Yeah. So.
And Ramu is also raised by a single mom. So we don't really know the situation. In the very first half, we don't really know his situation.
Yeah.
And why is it just, like, we know her mom died, but we don't know why he doesn't have a father. And when we found that out, that was kind of interesting.
It was.
I was like,
but at the same time, it was like, at first I was judging his mom. You know what I mean? But then it was like when she said, I had no idea he was married.
Exactly.
You know?
Because we kind of know his mom at that point and we like her and we're like, oh,
sweet lady,
were you willingly like having an affair? Do you know,
yeah, she's rubbed me in that way.
She unfortunately didn't know, but apparently the dad sends her like hush money every month so that the kid doesn't come out, that he has an illegitimate son out there. But all in all, for that situation, she did such a great job raising him.
She did.
He sounded like, he seemed
like a very other than they had to move around a lot, but
that was the only sucky part.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, it looks like him and his mom have like a great relationship, and
yeah, they did.
They're
super close.
Super so sweet. Not a lot of like supporting roles in the show because most of the story focuses just on our 2 main characters. They do have their besties.
Oh my God, can we talk about Hung-seok?
Hung-seok.
He is so damn fine. I was looking at him like, oh my God, he is going to be a star. He is going to be a star.
Really?
Wasn't he so handsome? I don't know.
He doesn't look familiar to me. Maybe
he doesn't look familiar, but
he's had smaller roles,
handsome.
But he is very, very handsome.
Yeah.
And he was such a good friend to him
as well. He was such a good friend. I loved their relationship, like the little board game thing, and literally the only friend he had when he first came to the new school, so.
And see how his friend was an extrovert?
Yeah.
So he was kind of like the male version of Hee-won.
Yeah.
Because again, you have this very introverted guy and he forced that friendship on him.
Yeah. So clearly, Ramu works better with the introverted type of. Yeah, he needs that.
He needs these extroverts to kind of like pull him out, right? Make him a little bit more lively.
Yeah.
And I like her bestie too. There was a slight misunderstanding, but they got over it.
They were so cute and they were so close, and it was just they were adorable together. And then I was sad that little mishap situation caused their whole friendship just to end like that.
It didn't really end. They kind of made up.
I mean, later on, but
they made up, and then unfortunately, tragedy strikes, and but they're still friends. Like we see towards the end that they're still friends. But what I liked about the show was the way that it unfolded. So the very first episode, we find out that it's in the present time. He's obviously died 6 years ago. Yeah. Now he's back as a Grim Reaper. She's depressed. So we find out that Hee-won has never really gotten over his death, and she's been grieving.
For 6 years.
For 6 years, depressed, because in part she kind of blamed
herself,
herself for his death. And I don't really think that wasn't her fault. I mean, she was young and the guilt kind of like got the best of her, but
yeah, I understand in the moment, maybe a year, but like the fact that like her getting older didn't let her like see the situation differently.
She was just really stuck.
Yeah.
She was really stuck in that moment and just could not get out of it, and was losing friendships and she basically didn't want to live anymore. So she didn't even try to be happy or do things. Like she lost her personality. And through the week that they spent together, where he's trying to make her live out a bucket list.
Yeah, but before we get into that, also, I think the reason why she held on to it so much is because she wasn't given the opportunity to literally let him know how she felt. Remember that letter she wrote?
They both loved each other, and he died.
So they kind of left, like he died in a place where it was like, oh my God, he had no idea how I felt about him. You know what I mean? So I think that was a big part of why she felt so crushed as well.
Exactly.
That she couldn't let him know, hey, I really like you,
I know. And that she forced him to kind of go into the observatory where the fire happened. Or whatever it was.
And that's why I said why she blamed herself. But
I know, but it's very sad. So now she's basically gone through her entire college life, not living, not making friends, just kind of existing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going through the motions. And he sees that. And I love that he came back to be like, you need to snap out of this. Like,
and live your life. Yeah.
Live your life, and kind of, presents her with a bucket list, but makes it sound like it's his bucket list. But then we find out really it's her bucket list. And because he was very much in love with her as well and liked her a lot when he was alive. And he wanted to tell her the day that he had died that he feels the same way.
And I think that was part of the reason why she could finally move on, because she finally got to hear him say, oh my God, I like you a lot. And we've seen that scene, you know, where they both kind of confessed and she was just like bawling her eyes out. Oh my God, that scene really broke me, you know? Like,
I know. Basically from like the second half, like episode 3 to 6, there was something that made me cry the entire time. The scene that ultimately broke me was the one where he visits his mom for the first time.
Yes.
And she's putting on his jacket and he puts her arms around her and she was like,
yeah,
my God, that feels warm.
Even the scene before that, when Hee-won is talking to the mom and they are having that moment and she just hugs
finally
her.
Confesses too.
Yeah.
It's my fault. And she was like, I kind of assumed that would happen because remember the name switching thing was something dumb that everybody kind of knew about. And the mom probably realized, like, because they had switched names, that she's the one that was supposed to go into the observatory. And she was like, I had an idea. I just was waiting for you to tell me. And when she bawled and said, it's my fault, she's like, no, it's not. I thought that was so sweet. And
like, I feel like that was the closure she really needed. Like,
she really
coming
did.
from his mom, that was so, like, powerful. That's what she needed. And even her and Hung-seok, that moment made me bawl too, because what he said is like, how do you think I've been feeling? I've been suffering too. I was there.
And you never asked me.
Yeah.
How am I doing? Right? Like,
yeah.
And you constantly, because I like the fact that this show touched on the fact that people grieve in different ways, where she was like, I just want to keep thinking about him. And she couldn't deal with her grief and was very loud with it, where I felt like Hong-seok was more like, you know, he internalized that and he didn't want to think about his friend every day because it was too painful.
Yeah.
And she mistook that as like, oh, I'm over it now. I'm going to forget about him.
Yeah. And she didn't understand, like, yes, you liked him on a different level, but this guy was his only friend.
Exactly. Look,
right?
They were both equally devastated by this, and they were both in so much pain. She just didn't understand that he had a different way of expressing and dealing with his pain, where she was just like, he died. That's all I want to talk about. I don't want to forget him.
And I understand Hong-seok's anger, because it's like, we all experienced this together. We were all there. So you would think that they would be more closer, right?
Yeah.
Because who could understand that feeling but Hong-seok and Tae-kyung? You know what I mean?
Exactly. So she let their little friendships kind of die down as well.
Yeah.
Which was very sad. But just grief is a bitch. And I love the way that this show just showed that there's no right way to grieve. And I think that's what she learned too. So that's why she walked away being like, I should ask how my friends are doing. I should ask my dad how he's doing and my sister, and being involved, because not only did because she lost the will to live, she didn't even want to check in with anybody else either.
Yeah, and you've seen that scene with her sister, and her sister told her off, basically. It's like, oh, why are you around? Just go back to being, you know,
in your apartment by yourself, because you don't want to live life anymore. Everything scares you, because her sister, I think, wanted to go on like some skydiving situation.
And she's like, don't go.
And she was like, I can go outside right now and a car can run me over.
I'm not gonna live my life
could die
like that.
drinking water. Like, she was very scared. Like, her life stopped moving. And she even addresses that, where she's like, after spending the week with him, she says, I feel like my time is moving for me again. And only towards the end did she not want to die. Because do you remember in like episode 2 or 3 where he was like, when the Grim Reaper usually shows up, people are like, please spare me. There's so many things that she was saying none of that. He was like, how come you're not saying spare me? How come you're not saying I need more time? He's like, you need to get out of this funk.
She was very calm about it, actually, when he said, yeah, you're going to die in a week. And she was just kind of like, okay.
She asked one time, how? And he was like, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
And she let it go. I would have been pestering him the entire time.
I would be in tears.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, the whole time.
How am I dying?
I'm dying? Like, fuck this bucket list. Like, like, I don't care. I'm going to die. Like,
you're like, I don't give a shit anymore.
But there was like literally no emotion from her. It was just like, whatever, because at the end of the day, she's been thinking about killing herself.
Which
right?
is, just didn't, we knew it could have, it was heading that way, but we didn't get a glimpse into her life right away of how she was living daily. She could have just been having a bad day for all we know when he first shows up. But yeah, so it turns out like within a week, she's going to commit suicide, and he's there pretty much to talk her out of it and show her like her life is worth living.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very sweet how he was like, just because you can't see me doesn't mean I'm not
yeah.
here, and I can't see you experience it. Like, you have to live well
Yeah.
for the both of us. Like, I'm seeing this with you.
Yeah. And it's just moments where he disappears or something, and she's just calling his name and just run, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Because she was already a little attached, right? She thinks he can disappear at any moment, and I'm like, girl, you're about to disappear if you don't stop.
Literally.
And like, but you see, she was actually starting to come out of her funk a little bit.
And like I said, I think she just needed closure, all around, just closure, to be honest. And now she could finally move on, finally live her life, you know, like know that he's well, know that he's not blaming her,
and it's not her
knowing
fault.
that the mom is not blaming her, and now she can really start to live.
I know how emotional was that part when she was like, it's my fault that you died, but because I'm gonna die in a week, you came back to save me. Like,
yeah. Like, literally.
I'm like, this show, it's so heartwarming, it's so beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
It's so sad at the end. The surprising part for me was, you know, the college friend that she has?
Yeah, she was a special one.
She was. And I didn't, until they literally showed us, I didn't figure out that, like, she could see the Grim Reaper.
I didn't either. But then when they did like a kind of like a flashback thing, like she was literally making eye contact with him.
She was.
And he was looking at her too.
And when he was like, oh, do you even know her name? And then she gave her name. We're just thinking that was a coincidence, but it's literally because she could see and hear him. But I knew something was off with her. I didn't know that she was one of those people that could like,
I'm like, is she a
that
psychic?
are like clairvoyant and have these psychic dreams or like see the spirit world. But I knew something was off about her because remember when they bump into each other at the festival, we don't know that she can see the Grim Reaper at this point. I'm just like, how fucking clumsy is this person?
Yeah.
Like, they bump into each other. She helps her put all the stuff back in her basket or box that she was carrying. But then she's super flustered. Like, things continue to fall out and she's just frazzled.
Yeah.
It's because she could see the Grim Reaper. I was like, oh, that makes sense now. It all clicked.
You know what's so funny? It's like, if she could see him, how many has she seen?
She's seen so much, and that's why life is so hard for her. And he was like, oh, I knew you could see me. And she's like, yeah. He's like, that must have not been fun for you because,
yeah,
you know. And I think they even made a joke about like, she's in college like 2 extra years. Like, it's taking her long. Yeah. Imagine just walking through your everyday life and you could see all these spirits that nobody else can see.
Yeah. And then she was getting of Hee-won on the top of the building.
Yeah.
And she essentially like kind of saves her. Yeah. You know,
that part, I had to rewind it a little bit because I'm like, that was a little confusing. Like, she finally finds her. She's taking in the fireworks. My thing was they just spent the final day together. She's made peace. She's going to continue to live. But then she comes back to the apartment and then is deeply depressed because now she was like, oh, I felt great at the beach. But now looking back on the week that I just spent with him, I cannot move forward.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I was like, but we just kind of put this to bed.
Yeah.
So when she was on the ledge,
that's why I didn't
he came back.
I didn't even think that ledge was going to even happen anymore.
Me too.
You know? Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that was weird that you just kind of unraveled really quickly.
And then the college friend said, oh, you can't. He's going to come and watch the fireworks
he wants to watch
you.
it with you because he was like, live well and I'll be right there like seeing these things with you. I'm just not, you're not going to see me.
Yeah.
So that part threw me off. And I'm like, okay, so she did want to go through with killing herself.
Still, after that.
But
amazing.
He shows up, the friend feels relieved, and then we kind of just, you know, they experience the fireworks together. I mean, it was just, what an interesting premise. Like,
very interesting, because I've watched dramas with the whole Grim Reaper, but I've never seen it done like this before. Like, I watched Tomorrow, love that show, but yeah, I've never seen it being done like this, and it was so interesting.
And I think that's what made it even more like gut-wrenching, is because you see how much they loved each other and how young they were, and so you're kind of like mourning the life they could have had with each other, where I'm like, look at them, like, she was extroverted but she couldn't bring herself to be like, I like you, let's be together. He was introverted but he was gonna step up that day, and I just taking it in, what like it's been? Only I was just really, really sad for what they could have had.
Oh my god, they would have been amazing.
I'm like, what an interesting premise. Like, it was short, it was sweet. Every single episode was like super impactful.
It was.
And I like the weird little things, like the part where his mom is selling stuff and he ends up selling the bra to her. And it was so well done too, because every time we saw their school life and their past and we get to see more of it unfolding, like, I didn't clock that Hong-seok had a crush on her and not her bestie.
Yeah.
Because the
Me
entire
neither.
time that they're living and we're seeing that, it just looks like he's watching the bestie.
Exactly.
But really, they like the same girl. And I like that when he figured it out, he respectfully took a step back.
Yeah, there was no animosity, nothing.
He was like, when she rejected me and the way she
Because
keeps
he
staring
could
at
see
you.
the way they look at each other. So
Exactly.
he was like, yeah.
And he kind of read the room. I mean, there are so many dramas that we watch where people cannot read the room. It's like, clearly they don't like you. Let it go.
I don't know if K-dramas are messing with me, but why did I think the mom and dad were going to get together?
Again, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Hey, I did. I can't lie.
Why do you, every time you see a parent that's like single,
I don't know.
You just tie up the whole thing. Like everything is in a tight.
Because they were two great people. Okay, the dad was amazing. She was amazing. Why couldn't they? You know what I mean?
Because again, before we find out that he's going to die young and she's going to be super depressed about it, they like each other. They can't become step siblings. Think about it that way.
I've seen that happen before.
Where?
I mean, is that freaking weird? It's
A
not
little.
weird. Why? Why
you
is
wanted
that
the
weird?
mom and who else to get together in Mellow Movie too? The brother. And now you anybody close in age that's single, you're just
don't
like,
know.
let's all pair
No,
up.
I just said,
even
like-
though it's gonna ruin the relationship of the main characters.
Okay, I'm saying, how about after he died?
I mean, that's a.
It would have worked. Like, say she leaned on him after, you know what I mean? They got close. Like, that's very possible. What do you mean? Because
guess.
essentially, all she had was him.
Or they could be lifelong good friends.
Well, she just moved away. So I
How
was like,
about-
boo.
well, she could move back.
I was like, boo, she moved away. Like, he could have been your support girl.
No, but the actor that is playing her dad.
I love
he's
that man.
Everywhere.
I love that man. He is like dad of the year.
He was literally,
to be
I was
honest.
going to be like, he's going to be our new fave dad.
Yeah.
Because even though he wasn't exactly a dad in Mellow Movie, he was a director, kind of like the mentor, father figure that he had. Remember he was a director in Mellow Movie?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he was legit the dad, the girl's dad in
My
My
Dearest
Dearest Nemesis.
Exactly.
And now I was just like, this guy is having a moment.
I
He's
love
having
him.
a great
He's
year so
he's
far.
such a dad, though. Like, he's perfect for that role. Like,
I know. I couldn't.
no, but no, seriously, though. You didn't think they were going to,
No,
at all?
girl.
Even after the death?
You're just shipping everybody here.
No, even after the death. No?
Especially after the death. I didn't see it.
No, she was amazing, though. I like the mom a lot.
The mom was awesome.
Yeah.
And I even started liking the wife of the kid's biological dad.
Really?
Yeah, you know why? Because we find out that, remember there's a scene where he comes home and he sees like the waiving of parental rights
Yeah.
paper or whatever. And he kind of knows that that woman is the wife of his dad and that his mom
Yeah.
was like, you know, a mistress. But remember, she tells her, don't sign shit like this because he wants it guaranteed. If you want to be taken care of, like for anything that pops up and don't give this man peace of mind,
Yeah.
don't sign shit like this. She was like, keep getting your
She's a
money.
real one. Yeah.
Number one. Number two, she was like, you know, it looked like she was from like a chable, like she was an heiress because she was like, this was not a love marriage. This was like a business deal.
Yeah.
And I love how the end, she sent her a little card like, I got divorced. Hope
Yeah.
you're doing well. I didn't, at
She was a
first
real
we
one. I
thought
like
she was
that.
going to be like the evil,
Yeah.
scorned wife.
Yeah.
No. She was a girl's girl. She was like,
like
don't be
that.
signing this.
Yeah.
Take this man for everything that he has.
Yeah.
But I love that. Ever since you mentioned that Ramu, that what's the actor's name again?
Who?
The male lead. The male lead. Remember how you're like, he looks like the younger version?
Yeah. Of the guy from Marry My Husband.
Yes, Na-in-woo, right?
Yeah.
Na-in-woo. He's actually older than him a couple of months.
Is he really?
Yes. I was like,
This guy just has he just has a baby face then. This kid.
he has
yeah.
an extreme baby face.
He is
I mean, mind you,
so-
it's only like a couple of months.
But he is so adorable.
But
There's
the fact that you thought he
something
was
so
a younger
charismatic.
version of him, I'm like, girl, they're both 30.
There's something so charismatic about him, and even he won her cute little freckles. Oh,
my
they were
God.
just so cute. Like
I
love them
super in
both.
love with her when she was supposed to write that love letter. And her best friend was a real one. She kept saying, you're not going to write this letter. You know you like this guy. You don't want to help this girl confess to him. And the whole time she was chasing her around the school. And when she jumped out the window,
and they
the
thought she was
boys'
trying to commit
bathroom,
suicide. Like,
I was like, this is weird because if the kid tried to commit suicide, why would they be in school the next day with just a big old bruise on her
Yeah.
cheek?
whole time she's trying to get away from that girl. Yeah.
Just because she won't write the letter. And then when she finally did deliver the letter, how profesh was it? She was like, dear so-and-so. And she's like, why you write it like that? She's like, because the body of the letter is so intense.
Yeah.
I had to make it more
And then come to
traditional.
find out, who's like, this is for my mom's birthday.
Oh, misunderstandings everywhere.
Yeah.
But what a great show.
Loved her. The acting was so crazy. She killed that role.
Exactly. And for a show not to have, I mean, it was nice. It was short. It was only 6 episodes, but I didn't feel the lack of like supporting cast like I normally do with other shows when, you know.
We didn't care. I didn't care for them.
I didn't
Because
care.
all I needed was them two.
Exactly.
Right? Because it was about them, and I was okay with that. It wasn't that type of show, right? So
the little bit that we saw
it.
of like her, his mom, her dad,
It was perfect.
her sister, everybody just killed all the tiny little bits that they had.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
It was.
I mean, we cried a lot, but I feel like I needed a good cry.
I know. So, do you have a bucket list?
Oh my God. I was trying to think of that, and I can't really
Remember,
think
bucket
of
list
anything.
is just something that you want to do in your lifetime. It can be anything, right?
Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not really into like dangerous sports or anything. Like, I wouldn't want to like go skydiving or, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do anything extreme like that. I don't know. I feel like my bucket list is kind of boring because it was just like various like destination spots that I want to see.
No, it can be that. It doesn't have to be like
world.
I am not a daredevil. Like, I would love to see in my lifetime, like, go see a castle, maybe like Scotland or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. But you see, I don't even think of
or go on a safari in Africa, like things like that.
Okay, see,
like,
things like that I wouldn't really consider. I feel like those things are very much
no, that's
like,
what a bucket list is. Just anything you want to experience in your lifetime.
well,
like,
if that's the case, then it's like, yeah, I want to see the castle too because I've always wanted to go to Scotland.
I also want to be able to cross
and
my
Ireland.
legs. I want to be able to cross my legs. That's on my bucket list. Yes, I can cross my
Whistle?
legs. Whistle.
Oh my God. So sorry. Off topic. But because you know how you can't whistle, move your ears, or like apparently like
Cross my legs.
cross your legs. I saw this video of this girl who couldn't do jumping jacks, and I've been dying to ask you, can you do jumping jacks?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's been a while.
I don't know.
I don't know if I still got it. I don't know if I still got it, but I think I can.
You can't do the most random thing.
We're gonna try after this.
I sincerely, I've been meaning to ask you, can you do it?
I know I could when I was a child.
Because the way this woman was struggling, and everybody in the comment section were like, okay, like, you guys, this is fake, right? And I was like, no, it can be real because I know somebody who doesn't know how to whistle or like, you know.
It's not weird that I don't know how to whistle.
You can't even move your ears, girl.
Yeah, even that. Who the hell just moves their ear? Like,
Everybody?
for what reason?
I don't know. It's just a sensory thing that you could do. I don't even know how we discovered this.
Exactly.
Was it you who also can't wink?
I can wink.
What? Do that again?
I did.
Okay.
That's a wink.
Don't know. You were looking at me profile wise, so I can only see one eye.
Okay.
The other one moves. See, she can't. She can't. I was happy to see that.
Leave me alone. Okay, I'm
Sorry.
adding all this to the bucket list. It's fine.
Sorry. Back to the bucket list, girl.
Yeah.
Lots of yoga, lots of Pilates, lots of stretching.
Yes,
we can cross your legs. You can achieve that
I
in a
have
week.
stiff hips. Okay, I will work through it, and I will cross my legs sooner or later. But anyways, that's my bucket list. Like, what else?
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not a daredevil, so skydiving, all of that, I would never do.
I do want to go to China though and go see the Great Wall.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right? I don't really care for like the mountains and stuff like that.
I would love to swim with dolphins. You know,
Dolphins are freaky.
I heard they like to hump people. But
Dolphins are freaky, and zero need to be in the water. I hate the ocean.
I mean,
And then I wouldn't be like, and I don't believe in like keeping dolphins and like whales and shit in captivity. So I don't know about you, but if you were gonna like
It's not
swim with the
captivity,
dolphins,
though. Yeah.
it should be in the
where they're
ocean.
At. Yeah, where
And I
they're
hate
at.
the
Their
ocean.
home,
Girl.
I want to swim in their home,
in their
habitat,
home, and go to their yard.
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm no, I don't like the ocean. I don't like wild animals.
Yeah, safari, but from afar. You know what I mean?
Maybe in a very big Jeep kind of caged in.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Because those animals be doing the most lately.
Heavy on caged in. Yeah.
Super caged in, right?
Yeah.
I can
That'd be
get down
fun
with
in the
that.
Serengeti. Like,
You know, that would be fun.
that would be fun.
Yeah. I just don't want to do anything that's like physically strenuous.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, that's about it.
That'd be fun. Let's see. Anything else?
No, that was it for me so far. I might add to it. Like, you just gave me a couple right now. So, yeah. Winking.
You do
too. Moving my ear. Yeah.
Learning how to wink properly.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We hope you enjoyed Way Back Love. We love it. Let us know what you thought in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, share a review, give us a like, rate us a little. Hope everybody has a fabulous week ahead. Bye.
Bye.